Welcome to Real Life Topics Podcast, guys. You guys already know what time it is. It's Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. You already know what time it is. It's Biggs Radio and Real Life Topics Podcast. The views we express on this program are not those of Biggs Radio, its subsidiaries, affiliates, or sponsors. It's WCHI taking you from the 8 track to the latest app. Already know what time it is. Welcome to Real Life Topics Podcast, guys.
Yeah.
Exclusive interview time, and of course, special guest co-host as well in the building. Please welcome comedian D. Patrick. He's in the building tonight. You guys
What's going
already know. What's
What's
going on,
going on?
comedian D. Patrick?
I'm good. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. Thank you so much for being a special guest co-host this evening.
Oh,
And
yeah.
of course, letting the world know who is comedian D. Patrick from Chicago, Illinois.
For sure.
And
For sure.
yes, and of course, comedian D. Patrick is a comedian, born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, correct?
That's right.
Could you
Yeah.
please tell Biggs Radio and Real Life Topics podcast audience who is comedian D. Patrick?
I mean, every time I get that question, man, it's always kind of like the same because it's like I'm so it's really not a lot to it. I'm just like I said, I'm just a dude, like you said, born and raised on the south side of Chicago, man. A dad, a producer, actor, a co-host, a comedian, just a guy who, I don't. It's no different from nobody else. So just a guy who used the talent that I got to, try to make people laugh. Um, I really don't. I never really know how to answer that question. Every time I get asked, you would think by now I have a way to answer that question a lot better because I get asked it so often. But I'm not real good about talking about myself, which is crazy.
Okay, so you are a comedian. What made you start? What made you begin to become a comedian? What made you do this whole comedy thing?
The comedy came from, man, just being always thought I was funny. And that's what everybody's story. Like when as a kid, I always thought I was funny, or I always wanted to make people laugh. I just thought that was a gift. And my uncle was one of the people who actually who got me into thinking that I can actually do it because he's a comedian. And then one time I remember as I got older, my auntie Sharon, she she told me one day when I was just being around family cracking jokes, she was like, "You missing your calling," and that was enough for me to say, "Okay, cool, this is what we're gonna do." And but as far as like, I mean, it's just I just thought it was a gift, man. Like just to watch people get up there and make people laugh. I mean, there's a lot of inspirations behind it. Like there's your Eddie Murphys and all them people. I still remember the first time I saw Raw, and where I was, and which is crazy because I was in the projects at the time. The first time I saw Raw, but no, that those I mean, that's what really made me want to do comedy. Just the ability to make people laugh and make their day better.
So you also mentioned influences. So of course you mentioned that one of your influence was your uncle.
Hmm.
And what other influence just influenced you to just say, "Hey, I'm a get out there. I'm gonna jump out there and just I'm gonna do this."
I mean, there's a lot of big name comedians that actually, put me. I mean, not put me out there, but made me want to do it. I mean, like I said, you got your Eddies, your Chappelle's, coming up. When I was coming up, I liked Eddie, I like Ellen DeGeneres, I like George Carlin, I like all of those people who actually did the comedy. But I mean, for me, it was a lot of people who don't know. Like the comedians that don't really have that big of a name like that, as the superstar, the Eddie Murphy. Like I had this guy, like Roy Wood Jr. I think Roy Wood Jr. is hilarious. Patrice O'Neal is another one of my favorites. Um, Ari Spears. So there are a lot of comics that just don't have the notoriety as other ones do. That have inspired me and been influential to me. Like I mean, that would be some of the few names that I'm trying to think off the top of my head that just didn't have that notoriety that most of them do. That are absolute, like, I mean, just gut busting hilarious.
Just totally hilarious. So, when did you begin? What age were you when you just began to
This
just
was no, I'm sorry, my bad. I'm looking at my dog. He's doing
teenage
something
years
stupid.
or
When I wanted to do comedy, or when
when you
I
first
felt.
hit that stage? When was your first stage moment? When you first hit that stage, when did you realize like, hey, what was your biggest moment so far that made you say, I'm gonna be one of the biggest comedians out of Chicago? Because of course, when I watch you, um, you are totally funny, and of course, you will be on one of the biggest platforms thus far when it comes to comedy very soon. So, when did you realize that this is
Appreciate
the career that I am gonna have?
that. So my first, well, let's say this. My first time actually hitting the stage was 4 years ago. Well, it'll be 4 years in August of this year. Um, the first time I hit a stage and I got that first laugh, it was over. Like it's like a drug that you cannot shake, and you all you want to do is repeat that over and over and over and over. And for me, that was it. Like all it takes is that one time. I think for most comedians, if you don't feel it the first time, or if you bomb the first time and you have enough guts to go back, then you know that's what you want to do. But for me, luckily I didn't bomb the first time I was on stage. So I got the laughs. And the minute I got the laugh, I was like, oh, I could do this. Because there's a thing of knowing that you're funny and then actually being able to make people laugh. And I always knew I was funny. I just had to figure out the way to make that to a point where I can make people laugh. Um, I would say that for me, I was told by my mom, you may have only been doing this for going on 4 years, but you've been performing your whole life. So that's
Mm.
why it's not that big. It's not a hard shift or transition. So when people ask me, how long you been doing comedy? I gotta say since I started talking.
Okay. Okay. Now that's right. That's right. So when you write your material, how do you what is your process for material? Do you test it first, or do you just go up there and freestyle, or how do you do your
I mean,
comedic strategy?
it's a little bit of both. So first thing I'll do is I got my phone. In my phone, I will write the idea or the premise in my phone, and then I will go back later when I have time to edit it, or write the joke around that. Jesus Christ. But that's how I would normally do my process when it comes to writing jokes. Um, as far as sometimes I will go up there if I got the joke in my head and the time is permitting. Like actually the last show I did with Leon Rogers at the Laugh Factory. One of those jokes I did up there was me testing a joke out, which went over really, really well. And so I had the premise down on how I wanted to do it. I just didn't know exactly how I wanted to say it. But feeling the crowd and seeing how they were going, all I had to do was say it the way I thought would work. And it did. So it's a little when it comes to me and my writing process, it's a little bit of everything. It's writing, it's freestyling, and then there's the structure of it.
Okay, which one would you prefer, rehearsed or a spontaneous when you get up there?
I prefer rehearse. Only because it's it I know I won't forget it. Cause sometimes you'll go on that stage and you will have the joke in your head, and you'll be like, oh man, I forgot to say that joke. But if I've rehearsed it enough times to where I know where I do the cadence of the joke, I can see, okay, this is where you move, and this is how you do this is how you hold your hand, this is how you want to react. So yeah, for me, I'm much less like rehearsed, but there's nothing like a unrehearsed joke that gets a big laugh. Like that's the joke. That's a sense of adrenaline too, because the rehearsed joke you're expecting to laugh. The
Hmm.
unrehearsed
Hmm.
joke that you do and it gets that big laugh, it's like, oh, okay, cool, let's rock with this. So yeah, but for me, I'm more of a rehearsed person.
What was one of the best nights of your life since you've been doing this comedy thing?
Um, The best night of my life, honestly. Hold on, I gotta say what up, Pharaoh. All right.
Hey,
Uh,
Pharaoh.
I'm trying to get him away from me. The best night of my life actually was theater when I did the show at Theater 47, and I mean I've done shows with big names, Damon Williams, Leon Rogers, Howie Bell, a lot like Niche, all of these people I've done shows with, but the biggest show I've did was at Theater 47, and my uncle, B Cole, he shout out to B Cole and the Legacy of Laugh tour.
Shout out to B
Which we
Cole.
Yeah, and we actually were doing a show, and he was getting ready to bring me up. And when I started comedy, man, I ain't gonna lie, I wanted him to make me skip the board so bad. Like I'm like, man, why I gotta do all of these things, man? He like, I know we family, man. Put me in front of all these people. And he would keep telling me, no, no, go out here. You got to hit the open mics. You got to do this. I'm like, I don't want no open mics, man. I don't want to be performing as 6 people in a bar. I don't want to do these things. And he was like, I'm not going to. He just was adamant about, I'm not going to put you in front of nobody. So I was like, bet. I didn't hate him or nothing like that. But I was like, bet, forget it, right? So I would go out and I was grinding and hitting all the little slum bars and doing my sets and going to these places and getting, these little itty bitty and hitting open mics, nothing big. And it's crazy. We was just talking about this on the ride back from Detroit. I was like, man, I saw a comedian perform on because he would never pay attention to me. Like not like in a bad way, but he would never really look at me like that. And I remember seeing somebody had performed at Theater 47, and I called him immediately. I'm like, hey man, look, you put this dude on the show, and I know I'm funnier than him. And he was like, bet, you think you're funnier than him? Come up here and do a what he called trailers. So his version of trailers would be like he'll put a comedian up for a guest spot, give them a few minutes, and if they do good, he'll have them back for a feature. So I got up there the first time and I killed it. I murdered the set, and he was like, okay, I see you. He's like, I see you've been working. I see you've been doing this and that, blah, 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 blah. So he's like, I'm going to have you back for a feature. I was like, yeah, all right, man, it's cool. I ain't worried about it. But so I just kept grinding, kept grinding. He called me and he was like, yo, D, what you doing? I'm like, I'm not doing nothing, man. And he was like, yo, I got a feature for you. You're going to be on blah, blah, blah day. And, I want you to come through and perform. And I was, happy that he finally saw me. Like I was like, man,
Mhm.
finally, all the work I done put in over these years, man, he finally saw me. And it wasn't the fact that he put me on the show, it was how he brought me up, which I still have the recording of that in my phone to this day, where he said, the guy I'm about to bring up, he brought up the fact that, I hope he never thought that, I was not I wanted basically said I wanted him to earn his spot. I didn't give it to him.
Mhm.
And he went out, he grinded. He was like, it's not nepotism, it's nothing like that. He said he was like he had to go through that because if I made him skip the board, all the people and the comedians that I know now, none of them will respect me. And he was like, you got the respect of your peers and this, that, and the third, because they watched you go through the trenches and saw your journey just like I did. So when he brought me up to that, introduction, it was enough for me. Like I was like, all right. So that was the best night so far of my life, of my comedic career, because I just wanted, I wanted his seal of approval. Like, all right, you
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, that was a great moment. So, how do you think your comedy style evolved since the first time you began this?
Oh, I suck. Like my first, I don't know how, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how I got them laughs I did when I first did, and I did it in some of the toughest rooms, but I got laughs. But to me, I thought I sucked. They were not structured. I mean, they were structured, but they wasn't felt. Like I didn't feel the things that I get. And I think over the time I just got a lot more comfortable and confident on stage. And once I got comfortable and confident, it just my style changed to being more of well, let me go back. I don't really think my style has changed. I think just my confidence on the stage has changed. Where I'm able
Mhm.
to Pharaoh, stop man, I'm doing something. I think my style, like I said, my style hasn't changed. It's more or less the fact that I'm comfortable. I'm not worried about a heckler or somebody coming through and trying to throw a monkey wrench on my stage, or I forget my set in my head. So my whole thing now is, yeah, I don't think my style necessarily changed. I just think the confidence that I have just kept building over the shows that I kept doing. Because I think my style is really more of a storytelling and with hard punchlines at the end or a callback joke. Um, like I don't have a real raunchy set. I don't have a real unrelatable set. I think all of my sets are just tailored. I don't have a set that's like some I do have a set, but more of my style ain't structured towards this is up north and this is out south. Or this is black comedy and this is white comedy. I think my set I can tell in any room in any location and it's gonna get over the exact same way.
You mentioned hecklers. How do you deal with hecklers? Have you ever had
Oh,
how have you ever came across hecklers? Is one of my questions. And how do you deal with it if so?
I don't think no. I haven't come across a heckler. Which is crazy. I'm trying to think I haven't really came across a heckler. I mean, you come across people that's gonna talk, and I don't mean talk towards you or they have undertones with the person that they're with at the bar or whatever. They're gonna talk amongst each other like, man, what is dude talking about? But I've never had nobody actually heckle me on stage, which is crazy because when I just did the show at the Laugh Factory with Leon Rogers, M Dubs, shout out to M Dub too. He was in the green room and he was saying, there are certain people that people know they can heckle and there's certain people that they can't. And he was like, like you, have you ever had a heckler? I was like, at first I said, yeah. He was like, you had a heckler? And I was like, well, nah, not really. I mean, they was talking over the phone. He was like, yeah, that's not a heckler. He was like, because there's people who have a stage presence that won't get heckled. And he was like, yo, you have a stage presence. Like
Mhm.
they won't heckle you.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But yeah,
experienced seeing you years ago in Gary in Miller, Indiana. And so yeah, like you said, the stage presence that you have is really no room for heckling because you're so funny. So it doesn't, it's
yeah, I
like
appreciate that.
it's yeah, it's no room for that. So if there was someone in the beginning, what would you tell someone that was starting off to be a comedian? What advice would you give a comedian that is just starting off?
See, you know what? And it's crazy because I feel like and people have said this, but I feel like I'm not in the room or in the I don't feel like I have the right to give anybody advice like that.
Mhm.
Um like I haven't earned that in my own personal opinion. I haven't earned the right to be able to tell somebody, hey man, do this, do that. I'm learning as I go along in this. I mean, I'm just lucky enough to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody who's been doing this for 30 years and ask them, hey man, what about this? What about that? But I mean, if I had to give somebody who was starting off advice, I would say, man, roll with the punches. Like it's gonna be bad days. It's gonna be days that you're not gonna think it's gonna work. It's gonna be days where you're scared to hit a stage. You just gotta do it. That's it. Like I got a friend of mine who I think she is literally one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. And I've wanted her to do comedy for so long because she's that level funny. She just won't do it. And when I had mics or I had a room, I would tell her, I will put you on a stage. Like it don't even matter. I will get you up there. I just want you to do this because you can do this. And she just won't do it. But and shout out to Denicia because that's her name. I've always wanted her to do comedy. But anyway,
Shout out
yeah, I
Denicia.
what up, Mook? But I think like the only advice I would give somebody, man, is to just keep going, just keep doing the shows, keep doing these shows. It's only gonna have one person there, or the shows they got 100 people there. It ain't gonna matter. Just keep doing everything and just consistently write, consistently think, consistently find ways to, you know, uh expand your joke and don't become a a a one trick pony, I guess, where like don't let your set always be about one thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and
Mm-hmm.
this is no knock to anybody who's in the game who sticks to a certain type of comedy. I just that may not be my thing. You know, like I'm one of them people. Like there are good sex jokes. I do believe that. But if your entire set is about that, it's like, okay, what else can you do? Like, can you
Mm-hmm.
actually write a joke? Because crazy thing, we was talking about this on the ride back. Like, to me, I always think that that's low hanging fruit, and it's one of them things where you just have to look at it and say, okay, can you do anything besides talk about this? So, but I would say that
Yeah.
that just don't typecast yourself, because you don't know what opportunities can be. Because if you all you can do is raunchy sets, that means you can't do a clean set, and if you can't do a clean set, that means you can't do a clean show, which cuts your
Mm-hmm.
income in half.
Shout out to Miss T Johnson for tuning in, Miss Tay Barbaric and Frank, and of course, Biggs Radio very own Julian St. Chris in the building. Thank you guys for
What's
tuning
up,
in to
y'all?
Biggs Radio and Real Life Topics podcast.
Yes,
So, comedian
yes.
D Patrick, you have something called Speak Your Truth. What is Speak Your Truth about?
Speak Your Truth is my Q&A panel show. It's we run it the first of every month at LTV Events Venue in Hazel Crescent, Illinois, 3322 West 183rd Street, again in Hazel Crescent, Illinois. That is what we call where nothing's off limits. We have a show where it's people come in and they can, we have a DJ, we have fun, but it's actually an interactive Q&A panel show where the audience gets to ask the panel questions, whether it be relationship, world topics, ideas, anything like that, and we respond to that with our own flavor. Um, it is something that I think that everyone has to experience. It's not one of them things where it's like, hey man, I could tell you so much about it, because it's so many nuances to it that you have to actually experience it. Where it's like, I have this we have a signature drink for it, where for our show, where it's called, we have two actually, one is alcoholic and one is non-alcoholic, because I don't drink, so I needed the non-alcoholic version of it. So it's one is called Truth
Shout out to the
Potion, and another one is,
non-drinkers.
but that make it sound so lame, man. Like, oh, shout out to
No,
these
that's
12.
how
But
it
no,
needs to be. That's how I'm actually working on not drinking myself, actually, to just for because I'm on a healthy streak, and a part of that healthiness is me not drinking. So I'm sorry,
okay,
I'm just jumping on a non-drinking bus, so I had to shout that out. That's all.
yeah, nah, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's necessary, man. I think it's a good thing that, because I get, man, they got on my ass at the Speak Your Truth, because I came up with. I'm like, look, I like the idea, because the Truth Potion, the blue drink, is everybody loves that drink, and shout out to AJ, the bartender who makes that drink, because she actually made, and we just said, make us a drink that nobody else has, and that nobody's gonna have this flavor, nobody's gonna have this taste, and she came up with it, and it sells like crazy every time we have that. And it has the little smoke coming out of it, so it looks like an actual potion or whatever, so we like that. And I was like, okay, cool, so I don't drink, what you got for me? And she gave me some type of juice that smokes like that and whatever, but it's a signature drink that has its own flavor as well. But yeah, no, it's actually a good drink. And like I said, you got it's something you got, if you blend tonight's conversation. I don't know if anybody seen that, but you blend that tonight's conversation and you give it more interaction with the people, who you just not having one person come up to a mic and ask a question to a panel. We make it interactive to everybody that's there. And man, I mean, it gets crazy. It gets real crazy in there, and I love it. Like,
Right. I mean,
I'm so happy
the
for.
title of it is crazy alone. Speak your truth. I mean, the title of it is crazy. That lets you know right there what it's about. It's going down, speaking your truth. For real, because
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
people are in denial or are not truthful with themselves. So it's good to be in the building with everyone that just wants to speak your truth. I mean, and that's
yeah.
with
And
an F,
I think
correct?
Yeah, TRUF, and that's crazy because real quick though, shout out Marlon, Ray, Day Day, Candace, Liberated Lisa, Carla Renee the actress, DJ Lightbright. Those are all the people from Speak Your Truth. And Truth actually came from me and my boy Ray. We had a internet radio show that we actually used to do on StreamYard too, where it was called Truth Brothers TV,
Mhm.
and it was spelled the same way, TRUF. So we wanted to keep the name somewhat alive. So we just took the truth off True Brothers TV and I rolled it over to Speak Your Truth. These people are saying they're trying to watch it. Okay.
Okay, okay. All right. Well, that's cool. So there you have it. You also have a million things coming up other than Speak Your Truth, because like you said, Speak Your Truth is once a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have, so what's coming up next that you feel like Big's radio audience and Real Life Topics audience, I mean Real Life Topics podcast audience needs to know about comedian D Patrick? What do you think everyone should know about comedian D Patrick?
Well, I'm about to start back shooting the internet series Her and Him, where I play this dude James that basically is juggling two women, his baby mama and his girlfriend. And the last episode ended off with the baby mama being in the room with me at the hotel. So we're
Mm.
about to actually start back. Yeah, we're about to actually start back filming that next month, because I'm and people that have been asking me about it, I apologize. Y'all got to bear with me. My schedule has been hectic, so we haven't had the time. And shout out to that damn Dee Dee and Christine Tate, like all of the people that make that show great. But yeah, we haven't been able to get everybody together. But starting next month, I will be shooting the fourth episode of Her and Him, and it's gonna have another twist in that nobody gonna be expecting, I believe. So we'll go with that. Man, show still on the Legacy of Laugh tour. Um, doing that. What else we got? Got, like I said, Speaking Truth. I got other show dates. I actually got a show this Sunday in Waukegan, which is the Cracking the Hell Up improv comedy show at the Three Brothers Theater. Crazy. And actually, before I do that show in Waukegan, I'm gonna go. My mom's having a 62nd birthday party, and in Hazel Crest actually, and she told me crazy. My mama told me, and I don't know this all the time, but my mom told me, "Yeah, I'm having a birthday party. You got to come perform for my birthday." And I told my mama a joke. I'm like, "You can't afford me," and she was like, "Yeah, but I was the one who told you this," and blah blah blah. So I gotta go do my mom's party in Hazel Crest. I'm gonna do like, nothing big, and then go speak to my family that I haven't, seen in forever, and then leave there, then drive straight to Waukegan and do that show there. So, but it's a lot of show dates, more or less. I think I put up just a month of May alone. I just put up all the show dates and locations where people can see me. Where I'm going in Champaign, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan. I'm just all over right now, and I actually love it. It is a downside to it, but I actually love being able to, take my craft and my talents and just be able to give it to other people in other states for right now.
Well, there you have it. Comedian D Patrick is, of course, on tour, and like you said, you gonna say that you couldn't give up and coming comedians that's just starting off advice, and of course, it's 4 years later, and look, you're booked for the whole month. So, of
Oh,
course,
man,
it's you doing big things. You definitely doing big things.
I
Um,
appreciate that.
also, comedian D Patrick, this month, of course, you're the special guest co-host because, of course, shout out to Carmisha the Sunflower Soul. She's absent today, but of course, she will be back. And our topic of today was about autism. This is Autism Awareness Month. We're still waiting on Mr. Benjamin Scott to call in, but of
Okay.
course, we definitely, I definitely wanted to dwell on the importance of Autism Awareness Month. And what is your experience with autism?
Well, I actually have an autistic son who's nonverbal. Um, we yeah. My shout out to my little man. Um, I seeing it firsthand. From a dad's perspective, you actually feel a way because it's like you feel like you have to consistently protect them all the time. Like you have to watch them all the time. You have to be over them and making sure that they're okay all times because especially when they're nonverbal, you never know what's really wrong with them, and that's a it's a real it tugs on you. It really gives you it tugs at your feelings and your cords and everything because you like I said as a dude who wants to make sure that their kids are safe and protected and well and everything you and when you feel like you can't know what's bothering them it is something that you struggle with um my I mean we been able to give him some of the best best doctors and people around that could actually assist with him and with his progress and how much better he can actually get with that.
Okay. Hi, welcome to Real Life Topics Podcast, Autism Ambassador Benjamin Scott. Benjamin, when we're not talking, if you can put your phone on mute when you're not talking, if possible. But again, so like you said, comedian D. Patrick, you have a son that's autistic that is nonverbal. So you are truly experienced with you are truly
Autism.
experienced with yes. So of course, guys, Real Life Topics podcast and special guest co-host does have a guest today, and it is the autism ambassador, Mr. Benjamin Scott. So I want you guys to please welcome because of course, if you guys did not know, it is Autism Awareness Month. And so we want to make you guys aware of autism. So what other way to make you guys aware of autism to have the autism ambassador in the building? Please welcome Mr. Benjamin Scott to Real Life Topics podcast and Bees Radio audience, the autism ambassador.
You.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you.
So yes, Benjamin, could you please make let everyone aware of who is Benjamin Scott, the autism ambassador?
Well, even though I am an autism ambassador, but I'm also a male model, singer, songwriter, actor, dancer, you name it, I done it all. I also host a YouTube series called Sneaker Jams, and I have a jewelry line called Freedom Chicago Jewelry.
Wow.
Wonderful, wonderful. That is wonderful. So you're basically a jack of all trades, not just the autism ambassador. You have so many things going on the entrepreneur side. Could you please tell Real Life Topics podcast audience and Biggs Radio audience what is the importance of autism?
Well, there are a lot of people out here who've been diagnosed with autism, and of course, I'm one of them. It's all about autism acceptance. People gotta accept people who are autistic, just like me. It can be very tough, but sometimes we just got to, get through life and many more. 100%.
So what
Okay.
inspired you to become an autism ambassador? I know you do have autism, but what inspires you to get out there and just promote autism?
I want to tell people about my story, share it to everybody and showing them that it doesn't matter if we have autism, Asperger's syndrome, or any kind of disability because we are human beings and we can still make our dreams come true. Remember, you can make a difference because we can all be independent every day.
Okay.
So what are some of
And
the symptoms? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, comedian.
no. Go ahead. I can answer to that.
Um, could you explain the best way in explaining autism to people? What is the best way that you can explain autism to people? What is autism?
Well, autism or ASD for short, as in autism spectrum disorder, it has problem with verbal communication, and of course, less social skills as well. It all depends.
Okay. So, just a question about it because I've only been able to experience autism through my son, and it was me learning on the fly, so to speak, with that. So I know that there are two versions, or maybe there are more, where they have verbal and nonverbal. Are those the only two versions of autism that they have?
Well, for people who are having Down syndrome, they're nonverbal,
Okay.
and some who is brain functioning, like yours truly, are very smart and very independent too.
Okay. No, yeah, and
Mhm.
and that's why I think that now the next question I have you ever experienced someone who started off as non-verbal who ended up becoming verbal?
As a matter of fact, yes, I have. I have met a lot of people who are nonverbal becoming verbal. I have. I have indeed.
Okay.
Mhm.
What are some
Okay.
of the what are some of the things that might when you are artistic, what are some of the things that might aggravate or what are some of the things that help cope with being autistic?
Let's say to come, just listening to some nice, relaxing music, or draw a picture, or read a book. That's the best way to calm down, and many more.
Okay. And
Yeah.
as far as like, I know you said that you currently, I mean, you are autistic yourself. So what I know that they have the spectrum. Like as far as being on the spectrum, what I mean, if you don't mind, what level were you on the spectrum?
Well, what level I am? I have a little bit. I have a slight autism. Not all of it, but slight.
Hmm.
That's all I know. I thought there was something wrong with my anger and all that. When I found out I got diagnosed in 2007, I mean, not only it was a surprise for me, but I was shocked too at the same time.
And where you were how old were you when you were a teenager or younger when
19
you
years
found
old.
out? You were 19 when you found out you were autistic. Did you
That's exactly
Mm.
notice?
right.
Okay, and so when did you have when before you found out when you were 19, did you notice anything uh ahead of that time once you were actually told that you were autistic? Did you see any symptoms prior to that?
So I've been having anger problems. I mean, yelling and all that, taking it on everybody and stuff like that. It was hard for me to control. For real, it was hard for me to control. But I
Mm.
learned how to calm myself down. And for real, I have. I really have.
What are some things that you do to calm yourself down?
Listening to some calm music, play guitar, read a book, draw a picture, or write poetry.
Mm. And what are some of the things that you've experienced as far as like dealing with autism that have been like on the negative side, as far as like I mean, not a contradiction, but something that you've experienced that you may have not have been too comfortable with because you're experiencing it and because you have
I think it's the loud
difficulty.
music. It's the loud music. That's why. When I'm at an event, the music can be very, very, very loud, and it can be overwhelming for me as well. And
Mhm.
sometimes when I get so overwhelmed, I start to throw things and get upset. But I learned an easier way is to go outside or put on some headphones too. If the noise gets really loud, of course.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Stephanie?
Okay. So, what does your typical day look like on the daily basis when you are waking up every day and on the daily basis? Like you said, loud music, being loud music, and sometimes you can get angry. What are some ways that like you said, some ways that you can calm yourself down is either putting headphones on or music. Say you don't have music right then and there or headphones. What are some other ways that you can cope with that?
Just go outside, go to the beach, go to a park, go anywhere. That's my way to calm down. Get away from the craziness and all that, and just get some space, feel the breeze and stuff.
Okay.
So,
And
yeah.
no, I Makati,
No, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
No. So, what advice would you give? Because as I was indicating, early on prior to this, I have a 8-year-old son who is autistic, nonverbal. What advice would you give to someone who's actually struggling with that, considering the fact that you can't really see a lot of the times of what or be able to have him tell you exactly what he's dealing with and what he's going through because he is nonverbal. So what advice would you give a parent like that? Because I know a lot of times it be days where it's like your patience can run thin because you don't know and you feel a little way because you are frustrated with the fact that you don't know. So what advice would you give someone who's dealing with a nonverbal autistic child?
My advice is this: look up nonprofit organizations because there's people there that can help out your son who is nonverbal, and he can learn how to speak, how to write, how to read better, and of course they can help him, to get through anger and stuff. Because nonprofit organizations are the best places to help out people who are autistic like me and your son.
Okay.
And life can be very better that way.
Okay.
So what do you say to everyone that might not know the importance of autism, Benjamin? What would you say to them? Because of course this is Autism Awareness Month, but of course every month people should be aware of autism. What could you give everyone out there that might not know how important autism is?
I say to them, look up autism, look up ASD, Autism Spectrum Disorder. Look it up on Google, see what it is, and you can find all way to help out people who are autistic like me. This is the best way to share our story to all the children out there. Not only to ourselves, but to all the children out there. Because they need to learn about autism awareness. Because that's the number one awareness ever. Yes, I know about breast cancer awareness. I know about MS awareness, multiple sclerosis awareness, so much more. But autism awareness is the number one awareness ever. And people out here must learn about autism. 100%. I'm not kidding. I am for real. That is why my mission is to spread the word, share my story so they can share their story to their children. 100%. Hands down.
So how could they follow you, Benjamin Scott? There you have it, the Autism Ambassador. Benjamin, could you let a Big's Radio audience and Real Life Topics audience know how they can follow, like, or share you?
They can find me on Instagram at Benjamin.Scott, Facebook under my name, Benjamin Scott, TikTok at Benjamin.Scott 1988.
Thank you so much, Benjamin, for stopping through for Biggs Radio and Real Life Topics podcast. There you have it, guys. If you guys do not know, it's another week left or so for Autism Awareness Month. Make sure you guys check out Benjamin Scott and make sure you Google autism. You need to know how important it
ATL.
is. I'm sure everyone in our family has someone that has autism, including myself. I have a couple of nephews that have it. So thank you so much, Benjamin Scott, for tuning in to Real Life Topics Podcast and Biggs Radio. You have a wonderful evening.
Good dude.
Yes, yes, yes. And he was very informative. I think we learned something. I think we learned something new today about autism. What do you think?
I think we did. He did provide a lot of useful information that I think that I will apply to myself you moving forward.
So
Yeah,
again,
absolutely.
again, I want to thank you for tuning in and checking in, being the special guest co-host taking Carmisha's place tonight. And
Man.
how could everyone follow, like, and share comedian D Patrick? How, if you want to book comedian D Patrick, because of course you know you're gonna have those events coming up, and he's one of the number one comedians out of the South Side of Chicago, I believe.
Yeah, Southside of City, man. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, man, just follow me on all platforms. It's all the same. Um, it's actually somebody is just emailing me now saying I don't see none of those dates for Texas. When Texas book me and I'll come. But no, to follow me, man, just at comedian D Patrick, all one word. That's on Facebook, that's on Instagram, that's on TikTok. Well, actually, TikTok is no, TikTok is still that comedian D Patrick. Snapchat is comedy D Patrick. But everything, man, is at comedian D Patrick. I I don't know the series Her and Him. You can Google that on TikTok. It's on there or on Google that on TikTok. Jesus, you can look on TikTok for Her and Him. That's up right now, man. But other than that, man, if you want to book me, just inbox me at comedian D Patrick.
Thank you so much, comedian D Patrick, for coming through for Real Life Topics podcast today. And you keep doing your thing, keep it up. I want to be like you when I grow up, and make sure you keep doing your thing, man. You on your way to the top. In a minute, I'm gonna be having to go through the secretary and all type of people to get a hold of
Man,
comedian
stop.
D Patrick. I mean, it's an honor. It's an honor because I mean, in a minute, I won't even be able to get in contact with you. But again, thank you so much for sliding through Biggs Radio, Real Life Topics podcast. You have a wonderful evening. And till next time around, part three, because this was part two. So it's part three. And of course,
Yeah,
I'll
it's
be to
coming
see
soon.
Speak Your Truth very soon. The weather then broke now, so I'm outside. So I'll see you very
All right,
soon.
come through. I got you.
Love. Have a good evening.
You too.
Well, there you have it, guys. Real Life Topics podcast and Biggs Radio. Comedian D Patrick, the autism ambassador. It can't get no better than that. And of course, Biggs Radio got a music seminar coming up in Ohio. You guys better make sure if you want to perform, you go ahead and hit up biggsradio.com. It's Real Life Topics Podcast, guys. I'm just saying. There you have it, guys. The all white party, May 9th, Mother's Day. It can't get no better than that. So make sure you guys come through and get your ticket. I'm just saying. And again, like I told y'all, Biggs Radio Chicago, Ohio Music Seminar, June 27th, 2026 at 3 p.m. $20 at the door at 735 Ash Street in Ohio. If you want to perform, Send your MP3 or call 773-462-4447. I'm just saying, Ohio Biggs Radio is on their way to you.
Akron Music Seminars. You don't want to miss it. And get you paid. We are Biggs Radio Chicago, and we're coming to Akron, Ohio. Hey, it's there. $4.50. And trusted results. That baby. It will keep you coming back. Can't beat that. Indianapolis.
Well, there you have it, guys. It's Stephanie's God's Child from Real Life Topics Podcast every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you guys tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central Time, where we discuss the dynamics of life. And we also have exclusive interviews sometimes as well. Also, make sure coming up next is the Kim Patterson Show. So make sure you guys tune in at 8 p.m. Central Time, which is in less than 2 to 3 minutes coming up. So it's Real Life Topics Podcast. Again, if you are an artist and you in Ohio, please hit up Biggs Radio if you want to perform. Make sure you hit up bigsradio.com 24/7, all genres of music in the building. And of course, last but not least, and first and foremost, or however you want to say it, every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. It's Real Life Topics Podcast. And then I thought I pressed the end button on the live, but I guess I didn't. But okay. Let me see which one of y'all looking at me. All right. Right on time. Right on time. End. Dang, how do you end this? It's not ending.